What's up? UpTown Radio.
up?
UpTown again.
Uptown.
We're with the leftists in the building. We were having a really interesting conversation about hip hop and about Soulja Boy. Tell 'em.
My man.
Soulja Boy. Tell 'em.
Come on, yo.
Is this an inside joke I'm not picking up on? 'Cause
Not at all.
The conversation had everything to do with people that are not named Soulja Boy.
Soulja Boy. Tell 'em. But yeah, I mean, let's kind of get into that conversation about the state of hip hop. You have like in this generation, I'm not gonna say generation, but in this hip hop day and age, you've got Soulja Boys.
Generation,
Yeah, you've got Soulja Boy, you've got Waka Flocka and
Walker.
Boom.
Gucci Mane.
That's that song.
It's horrible.
I want to know who's pulling the strings. There's someone's up on the top.
Actually,
of the.
he doesn't write his own music.
Who, Walker or Gucci?
Gucci,
There's a lot of people that don't.
Really?
like he doesn't. I read that somewhere.
I know.
Don't be saying what you just read. You better have a source for that.
I did, man. I did.
Yeah.
Well,
Authenticity
just
of
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back into our conversation, like, what do you guys bring to the table that is, I guess, different? I mean, you guys talk about, like, I remember Noreen, you were talking about a lot about consciousness in our conversation about hip hop. What does your group bring to this hip hop age?
Interesting question. We bring discussion to this hip hop.
What do you mean by discussion?
What I mean by discussion is that a lot of times people don't want to discuss issues. They know that there are issues, but they don't want to discuss them. You're allowed to sort of wash over them, as Ish was saying, and sort of dilute them with different things like music, with drugs, with Obama rallies, things like that. If you think about it, if you really think about it, if you think about the Obama rally, if you look at how many people were supposed to afterwards, how this big change was supposed to come about, right? Once he got elected, and there was this big ass rally in D.C., right?
Yeah.
And it pretty much, but there were still homeless people on the streets.
That's for sure.
People
were stepping on people during inauguration.
Exactly. So it dilutes.
Let's be real.
So it dilutes the problem. It doesn't create discussion about the issues that are at hand. Even when it could be something as simple as, and not to say that we don't have music that makes people dance or want to snap their fingers. You know what I mean? I come from an age of the Whispers and the Temptations. Yeah. And, I don't come from that age, but my parents, I was raised on that type of stuff. I was raised on New Edition, so I know how to party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But within your partying, you have to be willing to create something that allows the next person who comes along to create something better. You have to be willing to test your own consciousness. That's why I was speaking about consciousness. Today we have this lack of a real and I don't mean like conscious rappers. I don't mean conscious rappers. Everybody says conscious rapper. Common's a conscious rapper. Things like that. I'm not speaking on that level. I'm talking on a level of what we do say versus what we don't say. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what we don't say is better than what we do say. So we may think that we have the freedom to say whatever we want, but there's a repercussion to everything that you say.
True.
And if you don't control what it is that you're saying, someone's going to pick that up in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to regurgitate into something that, becomes this sort of state where everybody's talking about, oh, hip hop's dead. We don't want to listen to this stuff on the radio, things like that. I think that's where we come in, because we're not regurgitation.
I can sum up the popular topics with a lot of hip hop today on one hand, talking about big booze, big bucks, big booties.
True.
Weed.
True.
Weed.
Weed
True.
money.
I mean, that's still fine. I mean, I'm still on one hand right now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, for me, like being leftist, like for me, it's all about diversity. So when you have a different group of people, like a lot of people from different background, so you don't know what to expect. How that mix is gonna give. So I think it's always good to try something that is different, is out of the norm. So it's kind of like sell other culture, pretty much.
I think with the stuff that we try to put together, we try to make it a point to be critical of what we're listening to, of the things that we create. If we don't feel like it could go somewhere, then we drop it, right? Fortunately, I've been into drumming for quite some time, and I'm pretty familiar with different styles of drumming. And I mean, I still got a lot of work to do. Again, like I was saying, we are amateur, but I'm very familiar with the drum set, and Diabate's getting his work in on the bass right now. Mahir is very familiar with the guitar, and I guess I don't really see Nordine as a hip hop artist or a rapper. I actually see him as a poet, and the kind of stuff that he does, like a lot of spoken word and that sort of thing. And he's been around with a microphone for quite some time, and I think of the kind of stuff that he puts out is poetry. And when you put a musical backdrop to that, you start to create something that I think is moving towards I guess the rebirth of good hip hop. I'm not saying that we're starting a revolution.
I don't even know if we're able to like put us in the specific hip hop category. I feel like for me, I'm more of I feel like I come from the part of the branch. Like obviously, the tree has the roots,
yeah,
and then this strong trunk, and then like all the different, leaves reach out and branches reach out everywhere. I think I come from more like the soul era of music that would lead into hip hop. So I'm like the
Stevie Wonder.
I'm on the Stevie Wonder, the Chuck
Marvin
Berry,
Gaye.
I'm about Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. See,
Clap it up.
I'm
a big fan of Stevie. I like that.
I've had
answer.
Love's in Need of Love today, like in my head the entire day. So I think I come from more that the Muddy Waters is the the Little Walters.
Classic. These folks,
the
you hear
Beatles,
this? These people know their music.
The Rolling Stones, that type of. I guess it's more gritty, and I think one of the interesting things about us is because we're so diverse, we sort of we have no room to settle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, not so far, and I hope it continues like that, because once we settle, I think part of settling and getting stale and running into roadblocks is when you put limits on yourselves. And I guess we kind of gave ourselves a good start by being so diverse. It was out of our hands, but the fact that we came together and we don't put restrictions on ourselves, I would hope that this leads to a much longer career of putting out just very creative work.
Mm-hmm. And it breeds universality, which is something that also breeds longevity. I think, my personal opinion is the more people across the world can understand your message, the more likely you are to last longer. To
True.
have more relevance.
True.
One of the interesting things is, for me, I feel like today's music won't last when I'm 40. There's some of it that I do like, and I'm gonna call. I will say, for example, Jay-Z. I don't feel like I'll be bumping him at 40. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be bumping Michael.
Yeah.
Michael will be in the joint no matter what. My kids will know Michael,
And Stevie. Don't forget about Stevie.
Of course, Stevie. But, Michael's gone, so I got to speak especially about Michael.
Speaking of,
my kids will know Purple Rain. Purple Rain is important. This
classic.
right here.
Yeah.
When doves cry is necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary. I like the way you think.
Thinking about keeping good music surviving, like. Yes,
That's
no, they would be bumping Michael Jackson. That's why I got my little brother into Bob Marley since he was 4. And now out of all his friends, whenever they come to the house and playing Bob Marley, they're like, "Who's this guy?" It's like, Bob Marley, you don't know this guy? He's actually rapping Bob Marley more than I do now. So
Diabate said it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody can agree that good music becomes a classic because it transcends generations.
True.
It does not depend on where or when it's created and who it speaks to, because it use that
timeless.
Universality term. It's timeless because it speaks to everybody, regardless of the time.